There, you can hear me now? Yeah, I completely forgot to do that. That is my bad. Seems I can never I'm never I always make slight mistakes every here now and then, but you know, I'm getting better at it. Now I just need to remember to turn that off before I do any recordings because otherwise that messes up my recordings. Um but yeah, what I was saying is I know it's been a while. Those of you who have shown up, I appreciate it. Those of you who haven't, well, you'll trickle in eventually, I'm hoping. But yeah, we're like I'm not going to have a consistent streaming schedule, but more of a loose one from now on. Because I noticed there's a bit of a dry spell between my content uploads, which is during the week, which lands on the weekends. So on Saturdays and Sundays, if I'm feeling up to streaming that week, those will be the days where you'll likely see me streaming on Twitch, and it'll be simulcast over to YouTube. But today we're going to be looking at Valve's upcoming MOBA game, actually. It's still in closed alpha, but I did have access, so I figured, why not give it a try, give you my first impressions. But yeah, Deadlock. So far, just screwing around in it, I've liked it so far. But I digress. Let's just hop right into the game, shall we? And we're gonna just load this up. There we go. I forgot if I tab out the silent, it just goes completely silent. My bad. Just need to open one little tab here so I can keep track of the YouTube live chat also. But yeah, it's a game in early development, so most of this is subject to change. Now, before we actually get into a match, I want to show you just what the game looks like when it's being played. So we might spectate a match, and then we'll go into the hero's sandbox just to give a general idea of how it feels, and then we'll hop right into a match. So let's see what's going on here. Where's one that's relatively recently started? This one looks good. From what I've seen of the game so far, from spectating... Oh boy, did it crash? Or is it just freezing up? Nope, it was just freezing up. False alarm. Yeah, it's like game is paused because someone disconnected, but, you know, from what I've seen of the game so far, it's pretty interesting. And it's sort of like a third-person shooter, but it does have elements of MOBAs like League of Legends, Dota, where you have builds for the characters with, like, different perks and whatnot. So, the character I tend to prefer is this one, Vindicta. I usually go with the build that's focused, the community build that's up, that is very much focused on the gunplay. Because, I don't know, that's where I feel like I'm probably my strongest is the gunplay, because my aim is pretty good. But, and best of all, this game doesn't have recoil to worry about, so for me it's literally just point and click. Which is nice, because it would be kind of annoying if they introduced recoil into this game. Oh, the guy's back, so they'll probably unpause here in a moment. But yeah, there's like, you can see these abilities down here, like Vindicta has a stake where she throws and it like tethers someone and restricts their movement. She has flight, which is usually just used for like the momentum of getting you into the air, and then just using that to sort of climb up areas that you couldn't otherwise climb. Her Crow Familiar, yeah, it just throws a bird at them and makes them start bleeding. But yeah, it plays a lot like League of Legends, where you have like the little minions, you're pushing lanes, there's a jungle, but it's not like a literal jungle in this game. It's more like a concrete jungle, since it's like supposed to be taking place in New York. But yeah, it's a specific aesthetic, and I do like it. It's like that like turn of the century aesthetic in terms of like the buildings and everything. Oh boy. Yeah, that right there is why you do not just float around using her flight ability. You just use it for the momentum. Because you are a sitting duck. Yeah, there's a bunch of characters in this game. But from what I've seen of like the gameplay, it can get pretty intense and it can get pretty interesting. Early game is sort of like kind of boring. Because you're just pushing the lanes, you're destroying the guardians, and watching out for getting ganked. But beyond that, there's not really much going on. Let's go into the Hero Sandbox so I can show you more about what I mean by the builds. But yeah, there's this entire cast of characters here. Grey Talon and Vindicta have a lot in common, but Grey Talon tends to be much more used in high MMR games at the moment. Vindicta is slowly starting to crawl her way up there, though. They all have their little abilities. This I find hilarious just because of the meme where, like, literally just... It's almost like they copied the idea of a Mortal Kombat character. You know which one I'm talking about if you know, but I can't, because I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah. This guy is a tank, and is also really good for, like, beginners, just because he has a lot of health, he has decent movement speed, decent DPS, and he has a lot of utility to get himself out of trouble. But yeah, let's go into the sandbox real quick before we actually start playing a match. And I'll show you one of my favorite features on this. The builds section, which gives you, like, tips on what you should be buying, where to buy it. There's a default build, but that one's not really that good, in my opinion, because the default builds really just don't focus down on anything. So you can even look here, there's, like, tons of public builds that are out there. And the amount is only growing. But, yeah, basically, in the early game, I would grab something like High Velocity Mag for the weapon. There's also the ability point order, because you invest in them and level them up over time. But, you know, let's just give an example. Let's actually load up this build and with the late game, and I'll show you why I like this so much, because it gets a little crazy with some of these late game builds. In perfect honesty. Let's see. Glass Cannon, Lucky Shot, Ricochet, and Vampiric Burst. We'll go with that. Now, Siphon Bullets is sort of just like, you choose that or Vampiric Burst. Because, fact of the matter is that they both kind of accomplish the same thing. It's just that this is slightly weaker, but is constant, as far as I know. This is, like, a duration, but then it has a cooldown of, like, 35 seconds, but it's much better because it increases your weapon damage, gives you bonus health and move speed, but it also grants you lifesteal, an increase in fire rate, and more ammo for your gun. So, I generally prefer that over Siphon. For Vitality, you can look at stuff like this for late game, because this will help you purge debuffs, because yes, there are debuffs in this game that you have to watch for. Soul Rebirth is just a faster respawn at your death location. Basically, it's like a revive, if that makes sense. Like, it's a temporary, like a quick revive, so you don't have to go all the way back to spawn. You will respawn only with part of your health, though, like 20%. I usually grab that. Then I usually just grab the armors, because I don't know. That's just general damage reduction. You can get specific things in like the mid game if you have to, where if you don't have unstoppable yet, you could get like debuff remover. Then there's spirit builds, which is just related to your abilities. There's extra charge, extra spirit, mystic burst, and I usually put this on her ult. So let's just show you how this actually works out in actual gameplay. I'm going to leap up here. Start climbing on stuff. When it says ricochet, it literally just means that it traces onto the next closest enemy. Like, you'll see there, it's just ricocheting all over the place onto the little minions.
The birds will deal with them. I'll have their head. Contact. Get the drop on them.
But yeah, it's like this sort of like it's interesting to me in that it's instead of going for the typical top-down perspective, they've gone for something that's a little more on the ground and just I don't know. It's not quite first person, but it's over the shoulder. I don't know. I just like it. And I like the aesthetic. But yeah, as you'll notice, I can't really point to it, but because I don't have my cursor captured on the capture. But you see next to that white bar, the little vial shape with like the 204 to next. Yeah, that's that's related to souls, which is what you're seeing pop up when I kill stuff. That basically, you get upgrades from your patron, which is basically the last thing in your spawn zone, basically, where if they kill all of these guardians in all the lanes, if you see in the top right under the timer, there's like there's 4 lanes, 2 guardians for each, and then your patron is the square right by your spawn zone, which is the spacebar looking thing at the bottom there. Yeah, if you get little buffs to your total power as you accumulate souls from your patron. You get bullet damage for your gun, you get health. So there is actually a point to just farming these minions, especially in the early game, because souls is what you use to buy those little perks that I applied to the build also. But, you know, souls also just, in general, amassing them passively increases your strength. Which is an interesting mechanic, in my opinion. It's something to spice up the usual boring part of a MOBA, where you're just killing minions trying to get to, you know, like the enemy spawn to beat their tower, or whatever it is in this game, which is just their patron. But, you know, it's basically just you're trying to... they've done things to try and change things up. But other than that, it plays like your average MOBA, with a few differences in movement. You'll use those zip lines to get around a lot, which also actually lets you get back to where you were on your lane very quickly, rather than having to manually run there from your spawn, which I think is nice, because it keeps things moving, it keeps the game going, and minimizes the downtime, because there are zip lines like this that will go all the way down all the lanes, all 4 lanes. So it lets you get, and then you'll see here where it's saying left alt upgrade an ability. If you get enough points, like spirit points, you do get to upgrade your abilities.
Let's have some fun.
So, you know, just by killing things, you also get points to upgrade your abilities, which go up 3 times. There's different passive perks to them. Like for the Crow ricochets up to 2 times towards other enemies within 15 meters. You get a cooldown suppression reduction. There's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. And also the stake, though, is especially useful on its max level. Disarmed is a debuff. Basically means they can't use their gun. So, which is nice. There are control abilities, there are things like that in this, just like any other MOBA. But they did change it up enough to keep it interesting. And surprisingly, the game is actually pretty balanced. From what I've seen, there's no real heroes that absolutely suck ass and are worthless. There are just builds that are worthless. But all of the characters have some sort of use. Anyway, let's try hopping into a match here. Moment of truth, because I honestly suck at MOBA games, but we'll see how this goes. Or we could try a public bot match, actually. Huh. Interesting. What do you guys think we should do first? Should we do a public bot match or just play the regular game against actual players? Because there's a chance if we just play against actual players that I might get griefed, because I suck. So, what do you guys think? Anyway. Because these are 6v6 games, basically. Unlike, I think League is different. League is like 3v3. Yeah, I don't think there's enough people in queue for a public bot match right now, because there's... Oh, no, now there is. Yes, I know. They're the things trying to suggest new to me characters. Okay, well, we'll see if it pops, but you know.
Justice is a fantasy for those who lack the conviction of revenge.
In life, I find that a positive outlook.
I don't have a lot of experience with Keldon, but I heard that he's pretty good.
No one can break us.
I can do this on my own.
I need the anticipation.
And I suppose we can try out Green Talon if we want to. If we have to. But I'm probably going to go again with that. I think someone beat me into the queue, but, you know, we'll see when it pops. Okay, starting to get more players. Okay, we're starting! Yay! I have no idea. It lasts as long as it takes, I suppose. Okay, I guess we're going with Great Talon, I guess. Great Talon. Something I'm not as experienced with.
Soon I will spring the trap.
Oh well. This could go terribly because I'm just not good with Great Talon. And someone's disconnected. Yeah, matches can last like a good few minutes. It depends, really. From what I've seen of watching them, it can last maybe like 10, 15 minutes, I think. Depends on whether you're getting stomped. This isn't going to be a particularly long stream, though. I just kind of want to give it a try, give the game a try in an actual match, bot match or otherwise, and see how it goes, you know, see how I feel about it at the end, you know? Their Discord and Reddit has been pretty welcoming and pretty helpful, though. So, the community, at least, isn't very toxic. Which is refreshing. This guy gonna come back, or... Well... if he doesn't come back soon, I might just go to a regular match. Because those seem to pop off quicker. Yep. And it booted us because the guy was disconnected for too long. Wonderful. I mean, we could try a private bot match just to see how it goes. Because, you know, I kind of want to get at least one bot match in and at least one regular game. Just to see how it plays.
The friends of humanity will be eradicated from this earth.
You know, it's annoying that sometimes that people have connection, that sometimes this game has connection issues for some people, but what can you do? But yeah, this will last longer than an actual player match because it's a bot match, but let's see how it plays. Let's see how it actually plays.
I have an omen for you. This is just the beginning. Downed another. This could buy me the time I need. The crows obey. Binding them.
Yeah, this is why I said I'm probably better off with a gun-focused build, because in general, my aim is a lot better than my use of abilities.
Gotta get as many hits up as I can. Everyone's got a weak spot.
Oh dear. I was not paying attention. Go back to spawn, just heal up a little bit. Oh dear. That was a mistake. Oh, the turret's there. That's what was causing me so much agita. Oh dear. I am almost... Yeah, they have candles for heads. I should head back to spawn and heal up. I am almost dead.
I will soar, and they will die.
Let's, yeah, check the build here. What can we get? This could be good. Yeah, I like that touch, though, the little candle heads on the minions, and it also tells you how low their health is. Just by, you can tell how low their health is just by how short the candle is.
The birds will deal with them.
Oh dear. Get out of here, bot. Gonna just reload here while there's a downtime. Yeah, there is a touch, though, with the Guardians. You can't just snipe them from a long range, because they only really take a lot of damage when they're actually starting to attack, which is another touch. Oh dear, I was not paying attention to my health. Oops! That's unfortunate. Still, it's not bad. We're losing that lane pretty badly, though. It's not terrible, though. It's, you know, I think what the problem is mostly just, you know, with the gun, it's like the ammo and reload times suck. Oh dear. I do not like that. Okay, I got my ult unlocked, but I am currently having to run for my life.
Summoning crows. I have their head. There. Mark them.
Yeah, that's right. Back off, you stupid bot.
The birds will deal with them.
Oh dear, the Guardian's almost dead. Yep, we lost it. I do like that the bots aren't noticing that I'm up here. That is actually kind of funny.
Lie true. I see you. Bothering us for a while. I make my own opportunities.
Gonna have to push now while we can.
I have an omen for you. Find them. Time to move.
Oh dear, I'm in the jungle. Not where I want to be. Dang it, I didn't realize that her thing slows you. That's unfortunate. Yeah, the bots don't seem to look up. I am noticing that.
I got one of those for the missus. Big fan. Today, you're making history.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Ooh, Spirit Urn. Yeah, that's another little thing that pops up. You'll notice that little green thing on the minimap. Yeah. If you take it to the red square, I think they have it right now. Oh dear.
Contact.
Yeah, that's right. Back off a little bit.
Harry them. Stay right there. The crows obey. I see them.
They delivered the urn.
Yeah, they got the urn. I couldn't really get over there and stop it, but, you know.
Excellent work.
It's just the beginning. Bye-bye.
I think they do, just like the normal players, but it's hard to tell. Thing is, I'm playing against medium bots to try and make it a little more fair, because especially considering now that they can't look up, I'm playing against medium bots.
No running. Mark them. Summoning crows.
Yeah, waste that ult, why don't you?
They're not even going to hear the bullet that kills them. Vengeance comes for them. Need some elevation. It's over.
There we go.
So long. Mark them.
Relentless.
They're mine. Taking flight.
Yeah, the nerf scandal is that one. Those are always in the spawn wave. They always heal you a little bit as long as you stay near them.
The spirit.
Fool.
That was one tip that I did find out from just browsing their Reddit and their Discord, was to stick close to those, because they heal you. I think like 30 hit points every couple of seconds. It's also why you might have been noticing me shooting them early.
All right. Time to get to work.
Like, first, every time I see one.
Engaging. Gets easier every time. This is just the beginning. Hurry them! Hello, friend.
Pray for a salvation that earned the earth.
Time to go heal up, because I took a beating there. But yeah, you can see my total health, that bar that's next to the vial.
They cower before us. Who among them can stop us?
The birds will deal with them. Nighty night. There you are. Easier to do my job if I keep them in one place.
Oh boy, this spot again.
Stick around. The crows obey. Taking a shot.
Noticing how many souls I have now.
Good luck not getting shot. Come back if you'll be the last one standing. Now go out there and impose your will. You're not gonna regret it. Don't mind the good luck completing the ritual.
Okay, that's part of our build done. Oh dear.
Stay put.
Our purple water has been defeated.
Yeah, this lane, it seems to be going back and forth a lot.
Find them.
I just socked him in the face.
Vindictor. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I can strike from anywhere.
Oh boy. This is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. There's a lot more going on. Even in a bot match, this is a lot more fun than I expected.
Taking a shot.
Their dreams will come crashing down.
Get out of here, Infernus.
My power grows, and with it, your own.
Did they just completely abandon this lane? I am not complaining.
Waiting to be claimed. To fear and destroy the sapphire flame. They cannot stop you.
It's over.
Yeah, I kind of wonder that too. We're actually up to the patron on this lane, actually on all lanes now. No wonder it's getting everyone just pulled back. We're basically at the end of the game.
I see them. I have my own opportunities.
What were you doing there, Infernus?
It's a good day.
If I stay on the ground, I'm dead.
Let's head back somewhere where we can actually get some upgrades. Where's the nearest one? Oh, Spirit Urn. Might as well show what this does.
Are you actually going to drop me off or just run around New York?
Yeah, while you're carrying the Spirit Urn, you cannot use your gun. There's also the boss that spawns here that's what that yellow symbol on the minimap is.
You're looking for vengeance. This is the only thing to buy. Stay 2 steps ahead of death, my friend.
And we make our way back. Whee!
I know how to make it hurt.
Oh dear.
I have an omen for you. Night night. I see you. Hello, friend.
Gonna need to heal a little bit. I mean, this may just be a bot game, but I am having a good time. And judging by how the community isn't very toxic from my interactions with them, I think I would actually enjoy this game just playing normally. On my off time, even. Oh dear. Get me out of that. I do not want to be a gelatinous cube. Was not expecting that. Oh dear, this lane got pushed back hard.
Engaging. So long.
This our yellow guardian has been destroyed.
Gets easier every time.
Orange guardian has been destroyed.
There you are.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Did not like that.
It's a good day.
Oh! They got behind me. Well, gives me a chance to upgrade these. Yeah, so far I like the way this plays. There's a good amount of back and forth, and it'll probably be even more so when I'm playing against actual players. But the bots aren't actually that bad. They've actually managed to catch me off guard, and I usually pay very close attention to my surroundings, so that was a good play. Genuine first impressions of this game? Pretty good. I mean, it could use some refinement in some areas, but what game doesn't have that need when it, especially in a closed alpha?
They delivered the urn.
Vindicta, it is always a pleasure to have your business, and a relief to see you leave.
Oh dear. They were saving their ult for that. I should not have just dived right in. That was stupid. Okay, they're actually pushing us back now, but mostly just these two guys. 3. The rest are struggling at their own spawn. Huh.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
Back to farming more of these, I guess.
Night-night. They're dead. I have an omen for you. Just the beginning. If only killing Haythorn was this easy. Contact.
They have one shrine left.
I like having a fun.
Patron is exposed.
Bye-bye.
Finish their patron off.
Yeah. Oh dear. Why am I in the cube? Get me out of here. Yeah, I noticed that a while back. This character does walk around barefoot a lot.
They're mine. I see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just back off for a second.
Let them try to escape.
Dang it, Great Talon, you're gonna give me a heart attack. Yeah, that trap that I got stuck in there, that was Great Talon. And they trapped me at a really inopportune place, so if their Abrams had taken advantage of that, I would have been dead.
You're looking for vengeance. This is the only thing to buy. My friend's survival is paramount.
And back we go. Whee!
Firing. I have their head. I see them. There you are.
Get out of here.
So long. Harry them.
Woo! Yep. I actually had a very good time with this. I imagine it's only better with actual players, but even for a bot match, that was actually exceptionally fun. And in my opinion, a good game is fun regardless of whether you're playing with actual people or just bots or just basically yourself. If you can have a great solo experience, you usually also it's only better with friends. You know, that's just my personal opinion on it. That games that are great solo experiences they can also make great multiplayer experiences. And just in general, everything is more fun with friends. That's always a given. Who doesn't enjoy dicking around in a game with their friends? But yeah, I did pretty much all the objective damage. Player damage, I was like second place. Kills, I was leading. Oddly enough. And I actually didn't die as many times as I thought I would. Only died 4 times. Not bad. And this was on medium bots, which was actually which was actually pretty decently difficult for someone who's never played a MOBA game, and it's like, well, I mean, I have played them, but I've never really taken them seriously. And I've never really done them without friends holding my hand through it. So, for my first time trying something like this out on my own, very welcoming experience, and it was very fun. The game actually has that build feature, which sort of helps you keep track of what you should be upgrading when, if you want to stick to a build. Which is very nice. That is a nice feature, because a lot of MOBA games, you just have to remember your build. You just have to memorize it and know when to get what. This takes out some of the guesswork for newer players by the game essentially holding your hand and showing you what's recommended based on your build and what your build says to get next, you know? Which is a nice feature. And I think we're going to end things off here for now. This was a blast. I'll try... The movement is very fluid. It's just your typical WASD with shift to dash, control to crouch or slide if you're in the middle of a dash. You can extend the dash by sliding, which is something I didn't utilize a lot, but I noticed. The movement is very fluid. The only thing that I've ever heard about this game, though, is that the ability cancel key is the same key for dismounting from the zip lines, and also the same button for jumping. So, with certain abilities like flight, which I didn't use a lot to actually fly around, I just used it for momentum. Spacebar literally cancels the ability, and your dash button would make you go higher. Which is a bit of a weird choice design-wise, so movement does have a few things that could be tweaked. Like, just in terms of, like, your hotkey versatility. You know, and, like, your customization of the hotkeys, basically, could be worked on. But overall experience, I found that enjoyable. As someone who usually does not play MOBA games, I found that enjoyable. Any other questions before we close things up for today? We'll try an actual match with players tomorrow. But today I just wanted to get in, sort of give you the feel of how everything works and plays. And sort of just give my opinions on it. But any other questions before we move on and just end things off? Okay. Well, I'm gonna... Oh, character balance. Yeah. I am noticing that some characters definitely do better with gun-focused builds or spirit-focused builds. Like that minigun character with the turret who placed the turrets. They definitely got a lot more out of focusing on their abilities and their spirit power than they did out of their gun. Because their ultimate and their heavy barrage ultimate was what was killing me. You know? So so the game is definitely still very balanced, very much like has the sort of feel in terms of balance of a game like Dota, from what I've heard anyway and read up on it. But there's definitely certain builds, and it's, as I said before, there aren't characters that suck in this game. There are builds that suck in this game for certain characters. Which is completely fine. Balance-wise, the characters are all viable. It's more about how you build them that determines whether you're going to succeed or fail. That's what I got from playing around in it a bit today. Is that overall, the game is very balanced. There aren't any characters that are absolutely worthless. And most of the strength, being strong or sucking ass comes down to your build, which the game gives you plenty of tools and resources to find out what works. So, I think we're going to end things off here. And we'll get back to this again tomorrow. So, let me just exit the game here real quick. Yeah, I think we're done for today. So, to sum things up, the game is in a good place. It has some fine-tuning to do, definitely. And, like, just the graphics, maybe if you're a big graphics buff, you could see that maybe it could be improved in some places, but that would lower accessibility for a lot of players, because not everyone has an absolute monster of a PC. I happen to have a powerful enough PC to run this at basically max graphics if I wanted to, but I wasn't, and stream it to both YouTube and Twitch. So I was able to get away with it looking nice. But I find that just going a little too crazy on the graphics, having too many effects going on, people have mentioned that there is some slowdown. So there is some optimization work that they have to do still, but overall the game seemed fun, and it was a good experience. But just even a solo experience was still a blast, and I had a great time with it. There were highs and there were lows, of course, but it was very much like riding a roller coaster. There were highs and lows, but I had a blast the whole way through. So, if you have a friend who has access to it, you can probably get them to send you an invite to the closed alpha. And if not, there are people on Reddit who are handing out the keys, so if you wanted to give it a try yourself, I would highly recommend you give it a try, see if it's your cup of tea. But for me, this might actually be the first MOBA game that I would actually play when it actually comes out fully. So, with that said, the only thing left to recap today is that we will be streaming more regularly now, but it will be a little more loose. I won't always stream every week, but if I do stream, it will be on Saturdays or Sundays, since that's sort of a bit of a dry spell between the Thursday and Tuesday uploads. So, with that said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!